good news. Woohoo! That can only mean one thing. I'm just walking out of the post office with the box. And I bet you the box weighs less than 2 pounds. I bet you the cardboard weighs more than the pack. I'm so anxious. Can't wait to get home and open this thing up. I got home. I live in the country and the post office is about a 10-minute drive. So and when I had that slip in the mailbox, I knew that I had a package. I ordered this thing about 8 or more than that, 12 weeks ago, and I know pretty much exactly what this is going to be. Can't wait to. I mean, it comes from LiteAF, so what could it possibly be? Woo! Wow. Holy cow, did that ever turn out awesome? Wow. Guess what I'm using this weekend? Hey folks, alright, so you saw in the intro to the video, pretty excited this morning because I ordered a new pack from LiteAF. I ordered it before Christmas about 12 weeks ago, and finally it arrived here today. So this is my sort of preliminary quick look at that pack. And actually I should clarify one thing. I don't order a lot of new gear, but this year I got several new pieces of gear, including this pack. It's not that there's anything wrong with my other gear, but I'm undertaking a different kind of adventure these days. I do a lot. Last year I did 3 pack rafting trips, and I got a couple of pack rafting trips planned this year. And so the pack raft weighs 7 pounds, and then I need to bring 2 oars and possibly a helmet and a life jacket. So I'm adding like 8-9 pounds to my overall gear, so I needed to shave weight. So that's why you've seen my slow transformation to what some people call ultralight. But I'm so that's the fundamental reason I got a new pack. So I did a bit of research. There's a lot of good packs on the market, but I settled for this LiteAF pack. So this pack is it's called the Curve 46, so it's 46 liters. It actually looks quite cavernous, but it's 46 liters of the main pouch is 46 liters, but with the exterior pouches on the sides, and there's an exterior pouch here, and I purchased an optional pouch for the bottom. That brings this closer to 60 liters of pouch capacity, and then I'll zoom in on some of the details, but all the cordage and tie points on here make it that I can probably bring a good 35-40 pounds of gear with this pack. Now, right off the bat, what makes this pack unique is the fact that it's made out of Dyneema. So this is a very modern, ultra-high density polyethylene material. In fact, it's a sandwiching of different materials to get a canvas that is extremely strong, has a very high yield strength, shear strength, and consequently, because it's so strong and it's waterproof, that you can make but it's extremely lightweight, so it has a high strength to weight ratio. So that's the key thing. Now, a lot of these Dyneema packs don't have a full suspension harness. So what they have is just a harness. They don't have a belt around the waist. Now, I'm still going to be carrying quite a bit of weight because of the pack raft and things like that. So when I researched these, that's why I ended up choosing the LiteAF, because they do offer a suspension, a full suspension system. Talking about the pack in general. So It is a single compartment. You put everything from the top down. There's no way to access everything once it's inside. And once you're ready to close it, you roll it up, kind of like a dry bag, and then you clip it. So that's the main feature of this bag. It's just a single compartment. Now it has 2 side pouches that'll easily accommodate an Nalgene bottle or 2 smart bottles. So I got one on each side. Now there's an external pouch which can accommodate a thing like a tent or a foam mattress or a life jacket. Now there's also a bungee on the side here, and there's a bungee on the other side, so that can accommodate things like your thermarest or your foam mattress. I asked for axe loops. Now I'm not going to use it for axe. It's, in fact, the loops are for that's how I'm going to attach my 2-piece oar. I had Chris, and that's the other thing I need to mention. Chris at LiteAF called me before he made the pack, and I believe he calls everybody just to talk to you and find out, you know, things that how you intend to use the pack and what you want to do. So when he called me, that's when we agreed that on the top of the pack, after it's rolled up, he provided this additional top strap so I could put something across the top. It was his suggestion to put a daisy chain along the sides here like this. So the daisy chain provides me other anchor points apart from this one. So I got the pouch where I can put stuff, but I also have this bungee where I can put things like my life jacket. But the daisy chain on both sides allows me quite a bit of flexibility as well. So I got a whole bunch of attachment points. And like I said, I got this bottom pouch, which some pack rafts actually fold up so small they're the size of a 2-liter Coke bottle, and they could go in the bottom. The belt, the hip belt, is not overly complex. It's, you know, it's not hugely padded, but I've tried it on. It is comfortable, and it is very nicely adjustable. So that was one thing that I specified, is the length. You know, he has 3 or 4 different sizes depending on your waist size. So I believed I have the 30-inch hip belt with some good adjustments. There's a sternum strap when you put it on. Now I paid a few extra bucks. I wanted the load lifters. A lot of people don't care about load lifters, especially if you're only carrying, you know, 12, 13 pounds. But the load lifters here allow me to cinch down and move the pack closer to my shoulder. So it's an adjustment that I find valuable. So I wanted the load lifters. So there you have it. It's the first impression. It's gorgeous. It's an Aurora green is the name of the color. And now I'm gonna take it on the trip this weekend. So right now I'm gonna go downstairs and transfer everything from my old Bora into this one. And actually, speaking of the Bora, that's something that's important to talk about. This, actually, Chris weighed it for me before he shipped it, and he told me that he wrote down on a piece of paper is 28.6 ounces, so it's just under 2 pounds, and or just over 2 pounds. No, just under 2 pounds, which is remarkable for basically a 60-liter pack. The equivalent, if you bought the Osprey, what's the name of the Osprey pack that's popular? The popular 65-liter Osprey is 3.9 pounds. My old Arc'teryx Bora 95 is 7.3 pounds. So this is a quarter the weight of my Arc'teryx pack. Can see that there's a hole in the bottom of the pocket, so it drains if it fills with water or sand. It's quite cavernous, and I forgot to mention the other thing that makes it a full suspension pack is there are 2 metal stays. I don't know if they're aluminum or not. I'd have to pull them out, but there are 2 stays in the pack
to give it rigidity and help with the overall suspension. And I can bend those to fit my bag.
There's an expression in Alberta: if you don't like the weather, wait a few minutes.
All right. I filmed the first part of this video yesterday. It was a nice sunny day, and then overnight we had snow, not a lot, but enough to make it miserable. And I'm leaving tomorrow morning to go on a trip. So, the pack is packed, and it's interesting because it's only one big compartment, so I had to, you know, it changed my it's a change in the way I'm used to packing. So the sleeping bag is in there, and some clothes and some food, and then I had to use a few little stuff sacks for odds and ends that I used to throw in pockets on my other pack. But everything fits in nicely. So the water bottle is here. I got the foam mattress on the back. The tent is in this compartment. My thermarest is on the side. I got my saw. I got my shovel because I'm going in winter. The handle for the shovel. I use the carabiner to attach my cup, and my cook set is in the bottom here. So it's looking pretty darn good, and I weighed it, and this is 25 pounds. So last trip I did 2 weekends ago for an overnight, I was at 34 pounds. So this is 9 pounds lighter, but about 5 of those pounds are the pack itself. And then I switched out the tent. I went to my single man tent for this, and it's a lot lighter, so I shed a pound with the tent, and then I deleted a little bit of clothing because it's looking like it's going to be 2 degrees tomorrow, 3 degrees Celsius, so overnight cold, but during the day. So anyways, it is 9 pounds lighter, and it feels quite comfortable. Fundamentally what it looks like. Very well constructed, very well thought out, beautiful pack. So I'm going to give it a really good test this weekend and throughout the summer.
Okay, so you can see in the video right now, that's me using the pack. This weekend I went to a place called Point in Peter Lougheed Park. I got a link below in the video if you want to see that video. It was quite an amazing adventure. Now, it was a very good test. I loaded it up with 25 pounds of gear, and then surprisingly the weather turned actually pretty nasty and pretty cold, but we did okay with just the 25 pounds of gear. So I want to show you, my preliminary impression of the pack is I'm absolutely totally happy with it. It's a gorgeous pack. It's waterproof. It's lightweight. It forces you to be very efficient in gear that you select. That's one of the disadvantages of the large pack that I have, is I get sloppy in packing my gear and bringing gear. This forces you to be very efficient in gear selection and packing. And there was a couple of things that there's only about 3 minor things that I didn't like, and let me talk about those things. And they're so minor that they're, you know, but I will mention them. So this strap here that Chris installed, in fact, by habit on most of my other packs, the strap is put this way so that my hand goes to them. So when you reach down to grab it, or when you're going over your shoulder to pull it up. So in hindsight, if I could have specified that I wanted that strap in the other direction, that would have been handy. It's also not very efficient when you go to hang it on something, if there's a branch and you're hanging it. So that's a very minor thing. The second minor thing is this connection here, this clip. So when the pack is rolled up, and I'm using this top strap, and I want to put something on top, and I need to bring. Now, when you're in the field, then this is fully loaded. So in this case, when I was hiking, I had a shovel in there, and the shovel was pressing against here. So when I wanted to clip this in, I had to find this clip, the other end, and clip it in. So in hindsight, to Chris, my advice is you have a few more inches where you could move up this clip. So if this clip was above this bungee or above this pouch, I think that would be a little more useful. And for me, I don't know how I'm going to fix that, but it's annoying enough that I'm going to want to fix that. Otherwise, the only other thing I was concerned about is on the ends of this bungee and a couple of bungees. So on the end here of the cord, you have a knob that prevents it from slipping out, whereas here, there's nothing on the end. So either I'm going to have to put a knot or I'm going to clamp them together or do something, but I need something to prevent this from popping out, because if this pops off and you lose this by accident, you're going to have a useless attachment point here. Yeah, that's it. So that's my first impression. I used it on one trip. I only went, 10 kilometers overnight in the cold, in the winter, but the pack performed admirably. Watch for me using it on numerous adventures this summer, and I'll do a follow-up review come fall. Hope you enjoyed the video, folks. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of video, hit the big subscribe button, give me a like, and by all means, ask me questions about this pack, and let's get some dialogue going.